The Canadian Card Collector here, and welcome back to day 313 of a daily deck review. And the deck that we're taking a look at today is another one of the damn good cards from Dan and Dave. So if we open this up, today we'll be taking a look at number 3, the red one. We've already taken a look at number 1 and number 2, so now we're on to number 3. And before we get started, these are still fully sealed, so we gotta crack that cellophane. There's always a pull tab here on the side. Sometimes they're kind of hard to grab onto, so just the little crease up here at the top, a little bit easier. Sometimes. There we go. Got a little bit of a start here. Just hold on here. Okay, now that we got that up, as you can see, we got the damn good cards here in the red finished tuck box. It is in the standard glossy finish tuck box there. Yeah, standard glossy finish tuck box there in the red and white kind of colorway. So the red tuck box with the white kind of overlay. So you got the damn good cards and that white text. On one side, you kind of got the little design there. It's kind of like a teardrop or raindrop and some kind of like triangle kind of mixed together. So you kind of got a rounded edge on one side and then a pointed edge on the other. And then on one side, on the other side, it says thin crust, no seal, white border. On the bottom, we got the Dan and Dave logo, distributed by Dan and Dave LLC, Idaho, and made in the USA. One of 4,000. And on the back, we got a little sneak peek of that kind of back design. On the top, it's just the red color with the number 3. On the inner tuck flap, or the tuck flap, it says thin crust is a registered trademark of the United States Playing Card Company. On the inner tuck flap, you just got that red colorway. If we take the cards out of the box, on the inside of the tuck box here, it is just plain white. Nothing too crazy or fancy going on inside of there. And now that we took a look at the tuck box, time to take a look at the cards. And first we'll start with that back design. Well, here we have a pretty simplistic kind of back design. It's almost like a borderless back design, but it still has that white border because you can see like the white background kind of still makes that white border. And you got the design there in the middle. So it's a red and white style back design. And you got that red kind of shapes. It's kind of like the cylinder, kind of like it has like the curved edges to it. So I'm not even kind of sure what kind of shape it is. But then they all meet there, kind of in the middle there, and it is a mirrored back design. So if you flip it over, same design in both directions. It's kind of trippy, kind of the more you look at it towards the middle there. And now for the cards you get with the deck. And here we start with our first little quote here, and it says, "Whatever you do, always give 100%, unless you're donating blood." Bill Murray. And our second quote is, the terrible thing about the quest for truth is that you find it." Ray de Gourmand. And we get to the custom ace of spades here, with that big spade there in the black colorway with a little diamond there, with a little star at the top. Damn good cards, trademark and copyright 2022 by Dan and Dave. And then the rest of the cards are pretty standard. Nothing too crazy going on. Except for if I don't drop the cards, that would be nice. And then we got the Jack, Queen, and King of spades. Standard as well. The diamonds are just standard. And then the standard court cards, the clubs, Jack, Queen, King, standard once again. And also the rest of the clubs are just standard, so we've all seen those a million times. And then the hearts are just standard again. And the rest of the hearts are just the standard hearts. And then we got the Dan and Dave ad card here with the logo and website. And then we got the blacked out Art of Play ad card there with the white font. And then the logo and website down there. Now that we took a look at the cards, time to test the handling. And first we'll start with the springs. Ooh. Well, it is a thin crushed stock, so that makes the cards feel already slightly broken in, which is pretty nice. So you won't have any trouble springing these, like anyone can just open the box and spring these, because there's not really too much stiffness to them. So they definitely have a good flex to it. For some people, they might flex a little too much, but still pretty smooth flex to it. And the cards are pretty smooth. And they're definitely slidey. So just be careful when you're springing your cards that you don't overspring them, because that can happen like that. The cards can just go flying. But they're pretty smooth springs. We're now onto the fans. And with these different kind of back designs, you kind of get different kind of patterns throughout. All the different designs we're getting. You kind of got a little red, a little half circle kind of pattern there. As you can see, they spread pretty evenly. You can see most of the pips and numbers. There's no real stickiness or clumpiness to the cards. They're definitely slippery. You're going to have to hold on to them with a good grip. Now time for the Pharaoh. Super smooth hair there, and then lock away flawlessly. Now for giant paint up that back design. And now time for that reverse Pharaoh. The reverse Pharaoh wasn't too bad there. They did catch a little bit, and then locked away pretty nicely. Not the best though. Now time for a giant paint of the faces. And now time for the Riffle Shuffle or Bridge Shuffle. Both the Riffle Shuffles and Bridge Shuffles feel pretty good. Looking at it's pretty much like an average Riffle Shuffle, nothing like overly crazy. But they're pretty average. They're nice and smooth though, so pretty smooth. A little bit like clumpy a little bit. But overall still like smooth though, not like too clumpy. But from time to time, they'll like clump a little bit, but not like too much to like, really notice. But most riffles are gonna give you a nice smooth like riffle to it. But now time for a few packet cuts. Well, like I say, the pack cuts are pretty nice, pretty average pack cuts. Most decks pack it the same. If they weren't overly like packety, but they weren't overly like slippery, they weren't like sliding out of my hands, which is pretty nice. And now time for the one-handed cut or Shirley cut. And now time for the dribble. Definitely when the face cards are up, it's more slippery. You get a little bit more grip with the back design facing up. And now time for that spread fan. And lastly, spread the cards on the table. What can I say? No. A pretty nice deck once again. Still pretty simplistic though. This is like number 3 out of the 6 that I have for that set. And this is like one of the more simplistic kind of ones so far. There, just like that kind of red back design with those like, I don't even know, kind of like those lines or whatever shape those are there. And the rest of the faces, which we saw, were standard. So it's a standard, really standard deck other than that Ace of Spades. And then you just got that kind of back design. Well, they're still like fantastic cards. You got all those cool like the back different designs for each of the back designs. And this one's pretty nice. Kind of like it's almost like a borderless deck in a way, because there's no defining like line around the pattern there. And then for that handling, it's that thin crushed stock, so the handle fantastic, nice and smooth. Definitely a lot more smoother than like sticky and clumpy. So fantastic handling. You got that nice simplistic design, so good for packet cardability there. And you can even just use them for standard card games because the standard face is there. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. This has been day 313 of your daily deck review. This has been the Damn Good Cards, the 3rd edition of the set from Dan and Dave. And I'm the Canadian Card Collector signing out. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.